Let me start with the chronology of this. We booked Artie on Radio Gunk in the most obtuse, unorthodox of ways. I called in to this New Jersey radio show as Johnny Depp, but my name was Turk after Marcy in Rumson, just to get that said over and over again. This local Jersey radio guy has Artie's an attempt of a comeback here. And I let him know I want his opinion on Robin Salem and Howard not contributing to the GoFundMe for Robin Salem. And I call in here, and this gets the ball rolling.
Hey, we got Turk in Rumson on New Jersey 101.5. Want to say something to Artie. What's happening, Turk?
Artie, I love you, man. I love you on Crashing. I want to hear the entire front to back of you doing the benefit for Scott, the engineer's wife.
Again, when I left Howard, a lot of crazy stuff happened where the whole TV crew that was there forever got fired. And apparently Scott, the engineer, got in bad way with Howard somehow. And Scott's wife got sick. And, it wasn't the attention wasn't paid enough to her. She was a sweet woman. And, Bobby and I did a benefit. And, whenever we do a benefit, 2 weeks later, Bob is driving a Corvette. I don't know what that means. we do benefits because Levy needs a couch.
I do need a couch.
Listen, and she passed away, and Scott is, he's not the same guy, and the whole show's different. But Scott deserved more respect.
But Artie, this treads the line of inhumanity. I mean, this guy worked for him as long as anybody. To not even just one mention on the air.
Yeah, to me
the
that
whole
doesn't
course
make
of the
sense.
game.
Yeah.
To not do that, it's inhumane. You can't. No one. I don't care who it is, can defend this. The lemmings of lemmings can't possibly defend this. But you stepped up in a way. I mean, you never got credit for it. I mean, it kind of was a blip. I mean, I think Adam Levy from Daily Mail.
It's amazing. So Adam Levy, our friend from the Daily Mail, comes up in here. So after this, Artie's an assistant goes on and signs up for Radio Gunk and starts talking to me. And we're going back and forth, and I give him Monique's phone number. Artie texts Monique, and my number gets in on the group. This is like some Pete Hegseth shit. I get the number, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, Artie changes his phone number like every fucking 3 days. Right. I better do something with this while I can. What can I possibly do? And somehow I land on Jamie Presley, and I'm like, what? I don't know why. The Slap the Yarmulke thing comes out, and I'm just like, maybe I'll pretend he's not going to know because. So I go and I research Jamie Presley's like current status, that she has kids and she had a DWE and she was drunk. I'm like, okay, I can tie in her DWE with Artie's addictions, and they have commonality there. And I'm just kind of going in. David Spade, she did Joe Dirt with, and Artie was with David Spade and Lost and Found.
Yep.
So and their friends, I'm just like, I know I could probably do something with this, but will he believe me? My whole point is, the little time I have, I'm going to eviscerate Howard with the most salacious things I can think of to try to get him to admit to all this stuff. I'd only heard some of this as a rumor, the stuff about the Kilborn show on CBS and stuff.
12:37 p.m. Hey Artie, it's Jamie Presley. I'm sorry I just missed you on Long Island, filming Joe Dirt 3. I was hoping to come down to Governor's to watch you slap the Yarmulke on stage. Lol. Howard's show FN sucks now.
I just throw in right at the end. By the way, Howard's show fucking sucks now, right at the end. Right out of the gate. 5:30.
Jamie Presley, the smoking hot blonde. This is someone fucking with me. Spade? If this is really you, we only met once on Howard, and you hated me. If so, I think you're as cool as you are hot. Tough. Funny. Thanks for the kind words if it is you. If that isn't some fucked up shit.
For about 10 seconds, Artie's in this pussy fog. The pussy fog sets in 5 seconds and takes him completely out of that circumspection, and now he's hooked. And then I guess I dropped enough things where it took him in. He wants to believe this.
Right. It's wishful think. It's magical thinking. Right.
But again, she is a loose cannon, and she does know everything's right. So he can't fact check me because all my facts are there first.
Right.
How do you fact check when I've done the fact checking for myself?
6:54 p.m. Back at you, sweetheart. Tough and smart was exactly my tact when I did Stern. I never ever hated you, for the record. I told everyone you were the funniest on the show, and the reason people even followed him to Sirius. I thought Howard was crossing the line with what I was pre-interviewed about by his nest of vipers. So God forbid I bit back. I'm actually shocked Howard hasn't been definitively meted yet.
I love how you put nest of vipers in quotes as if he knows that's what Bill Maher said.
Yeah, I think that's why I did it, because Artie's like obsessed with, Bill. He's kind of obsessed with Bill Maher in a negative way.
Right.
And so
the interesting thing about this is that, John, you sent your first message at like midday.
Yeah,
and
watching
Artie,
the time
you
go
can
by,
see
right?
Artie's sleeping habits. He's just woken up an hour before. He's woken up at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Which is
You're so right. You're
always
so
interesting.
right. I was thinking that you get to see Artie's like circadian rhythm,
yeah.
or lack thereof.
But that's what made you memorable. Howard's getting away with insane revisionist history. You should come by the Comedy Cellar one night. Cool hang, and the best comedians on earth perform there. Thanks for reaching out, James. Means a lot. I just got out of jail, but I'm clean.
You kind of feel sorry for Artie here. He's got her. He's kind of hitting on her.
Yeah.
But it's not too aggressive. It's just doing a thing you can do, like in that level of fame. Come down and watch me own the stage at the Comedy Cellar.
The weird thing is that he doesn't ask, how did you get my number? Who gave it to you?
I think I said Spade gave it to me. I think I kind of like implied that Spade gave it to me.
That makes sense, because you mentioned
That's what you
Spade a few times. Yeah.
Right.
7:57 p.m. No. Hun, we all have our demons and addictions. The most seemingly normal people are the scariest when it all goes down.
I'm a therapeutic Jamie Presley going into
it. Arm right here.
At least you're on Front Street with it, and people can learn from it. Just know.
Well, this is the worst segue in the world. Look at this. Look at what I jumped to here. Hey, by the way, did you know Howard makes $3,000 a minute? Look at this. Right after this, like, deep intellectual conversation about psychology. Hey, did you know Howard? Look at this. This is the worst segue.
Street with it. Just know, you're far more talented comedically than the Stern Show deserves. And your addictions don't define you. Spade told me Howard makes like $3,000 a minute on Sirius. I wonder how...
That is the fucking funniest segue.
The AI voice, like, bulldozing from one thought to the other just makes it funnier. Like, there's
how about the yin and the yang, the dichotomy, the deepest thing you could say, followed by the most shallow thing you could say immediately after it.
The words to build him up, and then you just, like, slap him in the next sentence. You know?
I wonder how much of that is on your blood, sweat, and tears to give him that bloated contract.
Look at how outraged she is. And then she goes, I'm venting. And then she's going to vent about her own career here. I feel like no actress could be self-absorbed as they are and not talk about themselves a little bit. So here's I pulled this out of my ass. I don't know. There's not a shot in hell she's offered Harley Quinn. I mean, if there's a list, she's 150 on the list. But she ain't getting brought up for Harley Quinn.
To give him that bloated contract. I'm venting LOL. That penal colony bitch of a Wall Street, Margot Robbie, beat me out for Harley Quinn role. I was promised it, and it motivates me to this day.
She was promised it. She was promised it. Artie probably just gets to the Comedy Cellar or something, or on his way, and he writes her back.
That's funny. I've always been a fan of yours for more than the obvious. Your interviews are always amazing. So I appreciate your comedic judgment. Howard sold out and he didn't have to. Keep in touch.
9:06 p.m. By the way, you calling me James reminded me of something that Jerry O'Connell told me.
So now I segue to this rumor that I vaguely heard from Artie, and I wanted him to like put his stamp on it, put his name on it. That this had not been substantiated. That the Craig Kilborn show in 2004, Artie was up for that. So he to follow Letterman and Colbert eventually took that. So it's names like Artie and Adam Carolla and D.L. Hughley, and I think Jerry O'Connell might have been in the mix. Ferguson, who eventually got it. Just Artie Lange's name, I think, was probably as respected as it ever could be in like 2004.
Like the Real Deal Howard superfan.
I'm trying to connect the dots, and I realize that Artie knows O'Connell, and he knows that he's a Howard superfan. Jamie Presley knows Jerry O'Connell, so I'm like, this is me just kind of, covering my ass.
By the way, you calling me James reminded me of something that Jerry O'Connell told me. He's like the Real Deal Howard superfan, and more like X-fan now. I think Howard thinks he's not A-list enough to book. Jerry told me he thinks Howard blocked you from getting a legit shot at the CBS 12:30 a.m. talk show. WDF? Is that true? What a jealous wig.
So it says wig wearing hump, and then AI cut it off. I don't know why, but it says wig wearing hump, and it's so now I lay that in. I need to hear this from Artie because I'd heard this in a while, and I didn't. It just flew out of me. I'm like, I need to know the truth behind this, and so I want to hear it in black and white. Him say it.
Is that true? What a jealous wig.
Wearing hump.
9:43 p.m.
So Artie comes back at 9:43 and says this.
It's true. We gotta talk. It's too much to text. He totally did.
So there he is admitting that it's 100% true. But could you imagine if it wasn't too much to text and he did write all that out there? It is a lot to text. I agree with him.
It's a manifesto. Right.
Even with those stubby Union, New Jersey third baseman hands he has.
9 p.m. It's all too daunting and hurts. Just know you have major buttress support from people you didn't even know were fans. And in your corner.
So come back here, and I think this is the end of it. I say to him, I act like I tell Artie now that David Spade is now with me. And he's next to me, and he's telling me what to write to you.
10:37 p.m. Still breathing.
Okay, this is Artie's actual. So Artie sends me a selfie, and he sends me this like grimy. Look at this.
The nose.
Yeah, the Merchant Marine ski cap on, still breathing. So he sends Jamie Presley a selfie.
Let me get in front of like a like the reddest stoplight that I can in New York City and take a picture.
Could you imagine I said back to him, like, am I supposed to masturbate to this? What do you want me to do with this?
Oh, John.
As Jamie Presley.
No.
10:37 p.m. Still breathing.
LMAO. It's like 1979. Hell's Kitchen just stole your soul. Watch out for the Westies jumping you at the Blarney Stone for not knowing the secret handshake.
Jamie Presley, among the many things she has no business knowing, like David, she has no business knowing the Westies, for all that don't know. And maybe you don't. They are the Irish-Italian mafia in Hell's Kitchen, New York, which is streets that go like the high 20s to the low 50s on the west side, and it's called Hell's Kitchen, and that was the Irish gang that ruled those streets. She has no business knowing what they are. There's not a shot in hell. But Artie hears anything mafia he is in such a pussy fog. That's all he needs to know.
Westies. Wow. Nice reference. We gotta hang out.
11:17 p.m.
I'm trying to let him down easy.
Yeah.
I don't want to crush his ego. At the same time, he has to know, and the best way to do that is she does have kids. She just had twins at the time, which I found out. And it's the best thing to do is to let him down. I'm married. I have kids. Oh, other than that, it would be on.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yep.
Right.
11:17 p.m. I have to be a good girl for now. I have twins, but certainly somehow we can go drunk driving together because I'm no one to judge. I got a DUI about 7 years ago.
We can go drunk driving together.
We can go drunk driving together. Thought he'd like that.
That is absolute. That's brilliant. There.
Being self-deprecating a little bit here, and so David Spade just walks in to this fictitious conversation and writes a joke to Artie on Jamie Presley's phone about Peter DeLuise, and as she would say in the Artie style, this is an Artie format. So I use Peter DeLuise. Always bring it back to Jump Street, and AI butchers Peter DeLuise's name.
But this just in from Spade. Artie looks like he's 5 spin classes away from a young Peter DeLuise. And I miss you, like the Expos missed Tim Raines.
So that was a joke that Artie and Spade had together.
Hey.
You know that song by Everybody But the Girl? It goes, and I miss you, like the heavens miss, like the desert missed the rains. So Artie and Spade had a joke about Tim Raines and the Expos, which is a very funny line. Their own kind of parody song. And I use that, and that proves that it's David Spade. Who else would use that? That would validate it all, right, David Villatoro?
Totally, yeah. Oh, Villatoro, sorry.
You're a nice guy, though, John. You could have screwed him at the end of that conversation and said, "Oh, just effing with you, you loser. You know, you could have been a prick, but he
No.
doesn't reply again.
No, he doesn't
That's
reply again,
interesting.
and I wanted it to go on another day. He changes his phone number, and I don't even know if that's the reason why. I bet it wasn't even the reason why. He changes his phone number just a little bit after that, and he goes on Radio Gunk like 2 days later, and that's how we booked him. That's exactly. I don't think it was ever revealed to him that was me.
I wonder if when you dropped that you had kids, that when Jamie, not you, but Jamie Presley had kids, that he was just like, oh, I'm not getting involved. And
yeah, that was right. That was the best way to stave off him. If he has kids, I mean, guys like that sometimes don't want to be with women with kids anyway. But she's married. But I thought that was just the greatest way to just cut it off.
He establishes right at the top that when he believes that it's her and thinks that she's so hot, like, you don't know if he's gonna like start with the sexting or sending dick pics or something.
It was the least creepy exchange you could ever have.
Right. I mean, you got out of there just in time. So yeah,
I don't think he was gonna be creepy. I don't think he.
I agree.
I think
Artie's a good guy. I agree with that. Yeah.
I think he thinks it's cliche maybe to talk like that, or I just don't think he has it in him.
He wasn't sober though. When he said he was sober, that's not the case. We know he was drinking.
Oh, I was gonna try to talk him into drinking again. I mean, that was my next move. I was gonna work into that. I'm like, you're not.
As Jamie, you were gonna say, oh, by the way, as apart from acting and stuff, I'm also a drinking coach. So do you need any?
I was going to say you were going to recommend, Jamie Presley was going to recommend you, John, as a drinking coach for Artie.
Yeah.